progress though, Luke?
Yeah, glad to get the win. It's 5 in a row for us now. Or, yeah, not exactly sure how many in a row, but good to get the win. Probably didn't play great, but credit's got to go to Carlton because they certainly brought some fantastic pressure and forced us into a lot of mistakes that we hope we don't make too often, but and they certainly outplayed us for a lot of the day.
You think you could have closed the game, like chipped around a bit, 4 stoppages, it seemed like you were still playing attacking footy when they were coming? Yeah,
maybe. I think for a lot of the quarter we couldn't get our hands on it. They started dominating clearances and that's never easy to stop once the team gets a lot of momentum at stoppages. So we had to get the job done at the coalface and we couldn't, and their forward line capitalised.
What did you learn from the MCG factor out of it?
No, nothing to be honest. It's just another ground, yeah.
Did it almost feel like a loss out there at the end? Because it looked pretty, everyone was pretty sedate and pretty sort of just walking around in a bit of a somber mood at the end.
No, it didn't feel like a loss. I suppose we were disappointed that we probably didn't ice the game when we had our chances, and we let them in with a sniff probably a bit too easily. But that's not taking anything away from Carlton. They played really well that last quarter and certainly outplayed us. Yeah.
Is that concerning? Obviously, they kicked a few goals and got momentum pretty quickly, and it kept coming, and the mistakes crept in. And how sort of concerning is it, 2 months out from finals, that you need to put that stop on the teams that you probably should be putting a stamp to as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of similar to the Adelaide game out here. We had a lead in the last quarter and we let that slip, but I wouldn't say it's a pattern at the moment. We responded when North came at us last week, so I'm confident we can do it. But we had a little slip up, but we still got the win in the end. So.
Obviously, the North Melbourne game was pretty physical. Did that sort of maybe roll over have any effect yesterday at all? That it was a bruising affair?
I don't think so, mate. No, I think we recovered pretty well through the week and felt fine. Yeah.
So on the flip side of that, Luke, does it frustrate you that I suppose you are winning, you are amongst it, and everyone's saying you're winning ugly and you can't contend at the end of the year? Well, what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I suppose yesterday was probably an ugly game to watch, but that was due to the pressure they brought. We tried to handball through it a lot of the time, and their pressure was too good for us. But finals footy is like that. You've got to win ugly in finals. Not too many games in finals you win by a big margin. Hawthorn smashed us on grand final day, but I can't remember too many finals where there's been massive wins. They're generally ugly and pretty contested, dirty sort of game. No, the most disappointing part was just we had our chances to ice the game yesterday and we didn't take him.
Are you contenders then? Do you think you're a contender for the end of the year and grand final?
Well, we can't afford to think about that at the moment. I mean, the top 9 or 10 is so tight. We're still a couple of games from slipping outside the 8 if we lose a couple. So we just got to keep our momentum rolling, keep putting the wins together and see where we end up at the end of the home and away season.
Do you have that belief though that you're as good as any team in the top 8 on your day?
Yeah, we've got our belief. We've still got a few things to work on, but we're always confident we can turn things around.
Is that a positive that you haven't played your best footy and you're on a winning run over the last month?
Maybe. We don't discuss whether it's a positive or a negative, but I suppose we look forward to our run home and we get a couple of great challenges against some good teams, and that starts this week against Melbourne, who have had a pretty good season.
How have you assessed your own year to date?
It's not for me to judge, fortunately, but haven't had time to reflect too much, to be honest. It's the weeks keep ticking over pretty quickly, and I'm just worried about trying to help the team get back to our form we were in last year.
So how's the midfield group working, with Scotty obviously taking a large share of the ruck work and Nick obviously still 2 weeks away? How have you viewed how you've gone without Nick in that period?
Yeah, look, Scotty's battling on really well. He's taken a whole lot of the load, which he pulls up fairly sore, I think, most weeks, but manages to get up for another game. But we're looking forward to having Nick back. But I think we're doing okay. There's obviously room for improvement in certain areas, but last week we probably won the midfield battle against North Melbourne, who are one of the better inside, tough contested midfields in the competition. So, look, we're confident with what we've got in there, but still plenty of work to do.
Has it given you a better feel for the defensive side of stoppages and set square bounces, given you guys get so much on the move and look to be offensive when Nick's up and going?
Yeah, it definitely has. Yeah, we'll certainly be better off when we get Nick back in that regard. Yeah.
Just from a team perspective, how far off are you from the form you showed last year, and what do you have to do to get back there?
I wish I could tell you. It's not an easy fix. We've got to keep working hard, keep being honest with each other, and hopefully things click into gear. But look, I don't think we're too far off.
Yeah. Last year you guys were a bit of a surprise packet. Do you think teams have put more attention into tactics and the team setup, and that's why they might have brought you back to the pack a bit?
Yeah, maybe, but it's still no excuse for not being able to play your best football. Hawthorn teams have known how good Hawthorn are for the last 6 years, but they keep on winning premierships. So, look, we can't use that as an excuse when we play poor. But look, we're still reasonably happy with where we're at. We're in a good position to finish the home and away season well, and hopefully set ourselves up for good finals.
Melbourne this week, there's a lot of people just expecting you guys to blow them apart. What are your thoughts as a player group heading into that game?
Well, we're not expecting that. No, they've had some really good wins this year and played some really good football. So, look, people were saying we were going to blow Carlton apart on the weekend, and we knew that wasn't going to happen. So, we'll turn up with the right mindset and hopefully get the job done.
Look, Jerry McGovern again, really impressive yesterday. Is he sort of almost now the most important player to your makeup?
He's certainly up there. Yeah, he's having a terrific season. He's come a long way with his professionalism and his ability to get his body right to get up week after week. I suppose the style of football he plays, it's pretty combative, and he gets knocked around a bit. But to his credit, he keeps fronting up and keeps playing well and continued that form yesterday.
Is he as close to a sort of a pure football as you've seen, where he sees the ball and he just acts on instincts and goes for it?
Yeah, he's got a pretty special ability to read the footy, I suppose, quicker than most, and that's really important for us. He's strung together a really good season on the back of a really good year last year as well. So we're really happy with how he's going. But I suppose the exciting thing for us is he's got so much more room for improvement with his leadership and that sort of stuff. He's come a long way in the last 12 months, and I can't wait to see where he's at in another year's time.
Promising signs with Nick. Seems like he's getting closer and closer. Can you give us an update as to how close maybe he might be?
Yeah, look, I think the club's being honest with you. I think he's due back around Derby time. So, look, he's out there running now, and speaking to him this morning, he's feeling good. Hasn't had any setbacks. So, look, hopefully for us, he's back within 2 or 3 weeks. I think the most important thing is he's back for finals. So, we won't rush him back if he's sore, but I think he's had a pretty smooth run so far.
You might not have seen the incident, but there was an incident on the weekend involving a young footballer, a WAFL East Perth boy. Firstly, have you seen it? And just a reaction more from a footballer's perspective on the severity of the injury and how it all came about.
No, I haven't seen the incident. Obviously, it's tragic news in the football world in general, but especially for us with our alignment with East Perth. And look, our thoughts go out to Bo's family and everyone involved with Bo. By the sounds of things, he's a terrific kid. He's been at East Perth for a while now. So it's extremely sad, but it gives you a great perspective on things. But the whole of the West Coast Footy Club and the West Coast family's behind him and his family.
How the guys who were playing in the game afterwards, and I think Jordan Stone was playing in the game at the time, and how have they all reacted, having been there?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to them, but I'd imagine they might be pretty shaken up by it. But like I said, we're all behind him and his family, and his well-being and I suppose privacy is the main priority at this time.
Is footy as safe as what it? There's been a lot of big injuries seem to be occurring in more big injuries, I suppose, with in footy these days. Is it as safe to play as what it once was, do you feel?
I think it's safer than what it was back in the day, just given the strictness on head-high bumping and shirt fronts and all that sort of thing. But unfortunately, we're still seeing incidents every year at local footy, at waffle footy, where guys are injuring necks and that sort of stuff. So it's quite alarming, especially as a player. You don't think about it on game day, but when this stuff happens, it certainly is a wake-up call. And yeah, I mean, you don't go out on game day hoping not to get injured like that. Like I said, it's not something you think of, but yeah, I don't know what more the AFL or the football community can do to stop it. I mean, we keep bringing in new rules to stop head-high bumping and harsher penalties for head-high bumping and that sort of stuff. So, look, I think the game's doing a lot to protect players, but unfortunately, unlucky things like the incident on the weekend, we're seeing maybe one a year at the moment, 2 a year. So, yeah, it's sad.